Salam sejahtera and a very good morning to our evaluator, Madam Nick Nashamimi. My name is Marta Triza Anak greeting with the metric numbers 61381. Today I'm going to present my final year project 2 with the title The Relationship Between Comparisons and Benefit Toward Employee Performance in Private Sector at Kuching, Sarawak. For background of study, according to Adam and Stella 2018 state that the comparisons and benefits are very important to employee performance. According to Adiba et al. 2019 state that the comparisons and benefits help improve performance level, but there are others variable which is remunerations, allowance, incentive and promotions that contribute more to improving performance. Employee performance is a multi-dimensional structure and an extremely important criterion. According mentions in Barat 2060, the company ability to attract, motivate, and retain employee by offering competitive salary and the appropriate reward. Next is for the problem statement. It consists of 3 problem statements. First is most of previous study explore on the impact or effect of comparisons and also not mentions on the benefits. And the other previous study focus on the aspects of employee productivity, employee certifications, job certifications, and not many focus on employee performance. Therefore, this study will examine on the comparisons and benefit to employee. The second problem statement is the previous research has more explore on the public sector and manufacturing industry. Therefore, this study will focus on private sector. The third of problem statement is most of the research are conducted outside Malaysia. Lucas Ferrero and Shirin 2070, Kimina et al. 2070, Firas et al. 2020. Therefore, this study will be conducted at Kuching, Sarawak. Next is research objective. It consists of 2 objectives, which is general objective and specific objective. For the general objective is to identify the relationship between the comparisons and benefit toward employee performance in the private sector at Kuching, Sarawak. Then for the specific objective, first is to determine the relationship between remuneration toward employee performance in the private sector. Second, to determine the relationship between allowance toward employee performance in the private sector. Third, to determine the relationship between incentive toward employee performance in the private sector. Lastly, to determine the relationship between promotion toward employee performance in the private sector. The research hypothesis is consists of 4 alternative hypotheses, which is first, there is a significant relationship between remunerations toward employee performance in the private sector. Second, there is a significant relationship between allowance toward employee performance in the private sector. Third, there is a significant relationship between incentive toward employee performance in the private sector. Fourth, there is a significant relationship between promotion toward employee performance in the private sector. This is a conceptual framework that have been used in the research. For the limitations of the study is only in selected private sector being doing the research. Then this research only study for the 4 selected comparisons and benefit, and the population is limited because it's only focused on one organization. Next is literature review. For the employee performance issue, according to Nayu and Hadi 2017, employee performance is defined on the level of success of employee in carrying out their responsibility and their duty. For the comparisons and benefit, according to Lucas Ferraro and Sheikh Al-Sheikh 2070, comparisons and benefit has a close relationship with the employee performance. For the remunerations, according to Imelda Saka 2019, remuneration should be used as an additional benefit for employees and should be concluded based on the company and work performed by each employee in the company. For allowance, Allowance is a financial benefit other than compensations given to worker for particular reason. It's stated by Salusi, Sinyo, and Suraj 2015. For the incentive, according to Oshibanjo, Andeninje, and Haj Obushayo 2014, an incentive are given in addition to the basic wages or bonus specifically related to performance. For the promotions refer to the advancement of an employee to a high post carrying greater responsibility, high status, and better salary. It's stated by Gupa 2011. Next is research methodology. For research design, it consists of the quantitative research and the correlational study using in the research to define the connection between two or more variables and how it correlates. For the populations is consists 1,000 employees, but only 170 employees were selected from the selected department to be the populations. The sample size is based on the Krejci and Morgan 1970 tables, and the minimum of the sample size used in the research are 118 respondents to avoid the sampling and researcher bias occurring in this study. So 120 respondents were selected. The sampling technique that we use in the research is the consensus samplings. The research instruments we use in this study is Questionnaire updated and modified from Pradaha and Jena 2070, Ferraro, Bata and Sheikh 2070. This questionnaire will be consist of 3 sections, which is Section A, demographic, Section B, employee performance, Section C, remuneration, allowance, incentive, and promotions. Next is pilot study. It conducted at Longi Srinanbahat and it consists of 30 respondents. The value of the combined alpha for employee performance is 0.853, remuneration is 0.814, allowance is 0.821, incentive is 0.931, and promotion is 0.937. The combined alpha is to find out either the question A reliability or not to do the actual test. Next is the finding result for the demographic respondent. The first is gender. The gender for males has 56 respondents and female has 64 respondents. For the age is 18 until 20 years old has 11 respondents. 21 until 29 years old has 79 respondents. 30 until 39 years old has 24 respondents, and above 40 years old has 9 respondents. Next is for ethnic is Malay has 36 respondents, Chinese has 11 respondents, India has 6 respondents, and other ethnic has 67 respondents. For the religion finding result is Islam has 36 respondents, Christian has 54 respondents, Buddhist has 11 respondents, Hindu has 6 respondents, and other religion has 13 respondents. For the durations of service, it consists of 4, which is below 1 year. It has 17 respondents. 1 until 3 years has 44 respondents. 4 until 6 years has 36 respondents, and 7 years and above is 23 respondents. Next is find the result for relationship between independent variable and dependent variable is using the Pearson correlations analysis. For the finding hypothesis alternative 1, there is a significant relationship between remunerations toward employee performance as a p-value is 0.00 less than 0.01, hence the alternative hypothesis is accepted. As for the R value is 0.660, therefore there is a moderate positive relationship between remunerations and employee performance. For the discussion finding, there are some of previous research that shows the positive relationship, which is Oyemi et al. 2019 and Anthony et al. 2013. For the next finding result for hypothesis alternative 2, there is a significant relationship between allowance toward employee performance as a p-value is 0.00 less than 0.01, hence the alternative hypothesis is accepted. As for the R value is 0.592, therefore there is a moderate positive relationship between allowance and employee performance. For the discussion result, there are sums of previous research that shows the positive relationship, which is Monica and William 2016 and Ikawati and Setyo 2020. For the finding result hypothesis alternative 3, there is a significant relationship between incentive toward employee performance as a p-value is 0.00 less than 0.01, hence the alternative hypothesis is accepted. As for the R value is 0.484, therefore there is a moderate positive relationship between incentive and employee performance. For these discussions, there are sums of previous research that shows the positive relationship, which is Wana Widyanigurium 2018 and Candice and Shafia 2016. For the last finding, hypothesis alternative 4, there is a significant relationship between promotions toward employee performance as a p-value is 0.000 less than 0.01, hence the alternative hypothesis is accepted. As for the R value is 0.571, therefore there is a moderate positive relationship between promotions and employee performance. For the discussions, there are sums of previous research that shows the positive relationships, which is Abdul Razak Sarprin and Ramalan 2018. For the next is hypothesis testing. All the result of the hypothesis test is accepted. Next is implications. It consists on two aspects, which is knowledge and organizations. Implications to knowledge is to understand the concepts of comparisons and benefits applied by the organizations to employee. Next is apply the theory, concepts, and model purpose in the research into real situations where they are used to help organizations to improve the employee performance. For the next is implications to organizations is to understand the effects of the comparisons and benefit which can influence the level of performance of employee working in the organization. Lastly is recommendations. It consists of two, which is organizations and future researcher. Recommendations to organizations is the finding from this research purpose the organizations need to develop and implement effective comparisons and benefit strategy to improve employee performance. They also can develop a system that will ensure that there is a proper comparisons and benefits plan that can improve employee performance and a proper pay structure in the organizations. For the next one is recommendations to the future researcher. The researcher can conduct into both of public sector and private sector for the next research. The researcher need to do other research on the comparisons and benefits such as salary, bonus, rewards, retirements, and overtime pay. The researcher also can use the mixed method in the research such as the questionnaire and the interview as the current research have been used the quantitative methodology. That's all for me. Thank you.